Hey everyone, Kendall here. So I am going to be reviewing this Styrka Optic and particularly this S3 Series 3x9. And this is a fairly new brand. They've been around for about 3 years. I personally didn't know about them until about a week ago. They've been in my gun store for probably a while. I mean, we're talking a year or so. But I always passed them up because I thought, oh, they're another cheap ripoff, another cheap Simmons or just something cheap that's just complete garbage. Because I didn't really look into them, right? We get so determined and bound into this marketing hype of Vortex and Leopold and Zeiss and Swarovski and all these big names, right? And there's nothing wrong with those guys, but it really makes me, tunnel visioned, all right? And I own, as you can tell, some Swarovski optics, all right? I own some other decent scopes. I have a lot of Vortex scopes. And I've owned Burris. I've owned a lot of their high-end versions. And, I've owned a lot of different scopes, and they had a type of intended use for them, right? My Burris's were intended for long-range rifles that I was really doing some precision shooting with. I've kind of gotten out of that, and I do a lot more hunting now. So this market is for a 3x9, and let's just go over the pamphlet here. So I picked this up about 3 days ago and went through it and really researched it. All right, they do kind of like a phone app to give you if you use their BDC reticle, much like a lot of the companies out there do. All right, the other thing they do is they kind of give you all the different scopes that they have on their rifles, and they have quite a bit of different scopes here. They have S3 series, S5 series, and S7 series, it looks like, and they also kind of extend that line throughout their binoculars. I personally purchased their S3 not due to I wanted to buy the bottom of the barrel. I want to get that out there. I was really interested in their S5, but the reason I bought their S3 series is because, in my opinion, their eye relief is on par with Zeiss. Okay, they give you a very, very good eye relief. When you magnify the scope in and out, you don't have to move your cheek off the weld of the rifle to reposition to see it. Alright, so this is the first time I'm unboxing it here, and this is their S3 series, like I said, but look at the quality of this box. They have 3 magnets up top. It locks it in place. You can just kind of slide it up. It's a very, very well built box. Kind of has this cool backdrop that they have. Looks like there's some information in here. Let's pull that out. A little tough. It's in there good. Come on. There we go. It's definitely in there tight. So it looks like we have a magnet, a little decal, and then it looks like S3 series pamphlet that goes with their rifle scope. Alright. Inside the box, we have this nice cover that goes over your rifle scope. I have not seen this unless you're spending about $1,000 on most scopes. I could be wrong because I haven't bought or purchased or used every scope out there, but most of the ones I've owned that come with something like this is about $1,000. Alright, so we'll continue to open it up here. Before we look at the scope itself, they have something else in here. Looks like it's a pamphlet from them basically saying thanks for owning this optic, and if you submit some paperwork, it looks like they're going to give you a free ball cap with the value of $24.99. So that's a pretty nice feature. Oh, there's more. So they give you like a microfiber cleaning cloth that you can use to clean your optic. That's really nice. I mean, not that it's super expensive, but if you were to buy these at any, box store, they're a couple bucks. So that's really nice. All right, let's look at the optic itself. So, and I have already obviously looked at this optic in the store, and this is what made me purchase this. So the finish, in my opinion, is pretty identical to Vortex's PST or HST series scopes. It's a nice glossy finish. It's not matte. I have a Crossfire here somewhere. I'd have to unbox it, but their Vortex's Crossfire is more of a matte finish. This is on par with their PST or HST series if you're comparing it to a Vortex. Now, if we're talking weight, it's not a light scope, I'm going to be honest. For a 3x9, it's pretty heavy. Not much heavier than my Vortex in a 3x9 in this price range, though. You know, if I was comparing the diamondback that I have compared to this, the diamondback doesn't look as nice visually. And it's probably, you know, 6 ounces lighter, I would guess, is my diamondback. So that is a drawback. You know, the other thing here is if we look at it, I'll zoom that in, hopefully you can read it. But it looks like this is made in China. So take that as, you know, however you want. There's bad optics in China, there's good optics in China. The glass, when you look down, kind of when they put the lens in here, sometimes I see on scopes, you know, a lot of glue and it just looks horrible in there. I'm kind of looking at it with my eye. The camera's probably not going to pick it up anywhere near what I need it to. But it looks very, very good. And the glass on this side looks really, really good. It's really tough because it's probably not broken in yet. Okay, yep. To move this here, this cup, but now that I've broken it free, it's nice and firm. It's not going to move on you. It seems very well made, to be totally honest. So this is a little different. At least it is to me. They start out at 3, you twist to the right, and you get the higher magnification. Most scopes I know do just the opposite. They start their numbers kind of over here, and then they rotate them this way. So that's a little different and something I may have to get used to, I don't know. But something to point out there. As you can see here, the numbers are clear. You know, it turns very, very well. It has a definitive mark, you know, of what power you're on. I don't know. I mean, I don't find anything bad with it. And gosh, for the price point, you know, I looked at VX3s, VX3Is from Leopold. I looked at some Burris scopes, you know, full fields, E1s, you know, Monarch scopes from Nikon. The field of view, the eye relief on this and the crispness from the center to the edge is what sold me on this scope. You know, all my Vortexes have a really short eye relief. I don't care what they market at. It's about 2 inches. It's maybe 2.5. I don't care what their marketing gimmick is. I own a lot of them. So it's just, you know, that's my opinion. And I need, you know, 3.5 to 4 is really good for me. If I'm on, you know, hunting, I need a scope that I can have on my rifle. I'm not going to spend the time to get a perfect cheek weld on a running animal, especially something like a caribou or a deer that move very quickly. I need to be able to swing that rifle, get my cheek in there. It's not going to be exact every single time, and having a little bit more eye relief makes a huge difference. We'll go ahead and pull the turrets off here. So let's see if we can zoom in on that. They have some very nice texturing on these that allow you to move the turrets and take them off very easily. Alright? So if we look at the numbering, you know, they look good. I don't see anything wrong with the machine work on this. It doesn't look cheaply made. I don't know, there's, you know, they're quarter MOA clicks, you know, pretty standard. Oh yeah, that's like, I mean, that's super nice. The clicks are very, very positive. They're very, very nice. So that was the windage. We'll go ahead and do, I'm spinning this fast, I should probably slow down so you guys can see it. But here's the cap for anybody interested. I don't know why my camera's not focusing, but it's very nice. And then we'll go ahead and do the elevation. I'll try and make my camera focus here. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear those, but those are very definitive, very positive. The marks are very easy to see on both sides where you're at. I don't know how the mechanics are, obviously. You know, this is just an unboxing and my first initial impressions, but I am really, really, really impressed with this scope so far. I'm going to have to take it out, zero it, and then, you know, obviously I'll move it up 5 or 10 clicks, shoot, move it back down, you know, to 0 and see if it holds 0. But, I mean, it's very nice. Even the texture on the top of the knobs here, they're very well textured, as you can tell. And they did the same thing on the sides. All right. And to give you an idea, I was going to buy a VX3i. I wanted the CDS system, and I may still very well buy one of those scopes just because I like the CDS system. This particular scope is going to go on my 6.5 Creedmoor, and I only hunt within 300-400 yards, and to be totally honest with you, I don't need a BDC type system or, you know, holdovers, anything crazy at those yardages because my 6.5 Creedmoor shoots so flat. So it's not a big deal out to those yardages. So that's what this scope is intended for. They have a lifetime warranty, so they basically say, I mean, they don't tell you go out and run it over with your truck, but it's pretty much on par with Vortexes in the sense of if you do anything to it, damage it, they don't care if it's in pieces. As long as you can ship it back to them, they'll go ahead and replace it for you. And obviously, if it's, you know, if it's something they can fix, they'll fix it for you. And they also have a warranty on there that basically states every year, just send it back to them and they'll check it out for you. I imagine they put that in there more as a marketing gimmick, to be totally honest with you, because if you have your scope dialed in and zeroed, who's going to spend the time to ship it off every single year? That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to do that. You know, if it's functioning fine for me, why would I send something in like that? You know, there's a lot of knife services that offer something like that. You know, I own some Bark River knives, and basically they'll sharpen them for free for you as long as you pay shipping to get them there. So maybe they're just trying to take that from the knife market. I don't really know. But overall, so far, I'm really impressed with, you know, what I see right now. And I'll let you guys know with a follow-up kind of just how it does out in the field, if it actually zeroes. But everything so far, looking at it, I'm really, really impressed. And the biggest thing, like I said again, is you get a lot of eye relief with this particular scope, this S3 3x9. You know, I looked at their 4x12, I believe it is, or 4.5x12. I'd have to look in the book here. But basically, it was about the exact same as the Leopold's. Or, you know, I'm trying to think anything else in that market. The Burris's, you know, anything once you got into their 4 series, the eye relief wasn't as big of a difference. And then it started getting nitpicky. So if I was to go with a 4 or higher power, you know, and they started, you know, the price wasn't much more. You know, I paid $223, I think, for this scope. And if you stepped up to their next series in the S5, you know, at my local dealer, it might have been $280. You know, it wasn't horrible. But they're so new, I didn't want to spend the money on one of their higher end scopes in their S5 series because, one, I don't need that big of magnification, and two, I really like the eye relief that comes with this scope. So, and then the other thing I really, really like about them is the clarity of the glass, and like I said earlier, from the center to the edge, there's no black ring. You know, if you guys out there own a Vortex scope, rifle it, move your head just slightly left to right, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's a horrendous black mark around Vortexes. I don't care if you owned, you know, a PST scope. It's still there. It's really bad. This scope, and I'll try and get it on camera maybe, but you can move left to right a substantial amount, and I think it's equated to their eye relief that they have built into it. There's so much that if you're not exactly perfect, it doesn't care. You could still shoot an animal really, really easily. You know, I just went hunting this last year, and that's basically what's making me sell my Vortexes. I missed a couple caribou. I ended up being successful, but, you know, I missed a couple shots in a caribou because I could not get my cheek weld exactly perfect. I'm swinging the rifle. You know, the animal's running at, you know, whatever speed at 200 and something yards. I just couldn't hit him. You know, I couldn't see through the scope, so I couldn't take the shot. You know, so this for me, with a fast-moving animal or target at 100, 200, 300 yards, you know, this is what I want. I want fast acquisition and be able to get on target and pull the trigger. So that's kind of my review of this scope. If you guys like it, you know, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. But hopefully I'll give you guys more information with some range time after I got some time on it. Talk to you guys later. Hey guys, so I guess I'm not completely done. Here's the Styrka and here's the reticle. I'm having to use my phone because my regular camera, for whatever reason, just will not pick it up. But I'm going to try and move it here. It's really hard to see, but my camera doesn't stay in focus. But there's not really any shading, and I'm moving it a lot. If you can look at my hand while I'm doing this, and it's still able to see through it, right? And just so we can tell, this is the Styrka. All right. Now, I happen to have a BDC reticle Vortex. Alright, like I said, this is probably in the same price range that I had sitting on a shelf here. And if you were to look through this one, I'll try and do the best I can to get this thing to focus. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot, you gotta be super close with this one because the eye relief. So, see the black? It's really hard to pick up, but see the black ring if I go kind of very slow? It's a lot darker. It's definitely there. This is what I'm talking about is on vortexes. And I don't care how close you are to the scope. I mean, you can see how hard it is for me. I'm not moving my hand anywhere near as much. I'm trying to get it in focus. There we go. I'm using my phone. I'm like 2 inches max away from the lens right now. But you can see this definitive black around it, right? I'll move it. I mean, it eclipses the scope. And this is on, 3 power. It's not like I'm doing see, it's on 3. I'm not cheating. It's the same. And this is, around the same price point. And here again, here's the Styrka. And let me get it back in focus. But look how far away, once I get it in focus, well, I was almost there. See how far away, watch. I can move it way far away, and it's easier to catch it. I mean, look how much quicker it takes for my camera to acquire it, as an example. Now, if I move left to right, you don't see any of those shadings. The only thing you're catching is the camera's not focusing properly, but you're not, see like right there, I can kind of get it, but I'm way out of focus. I mean, I'm moving my hand, look how much I'm moving it. And I'm still able to, acquire it, and I kind of know where the reticle's at, using a handheld phone and capturing it. So it doesn't give you exactly kind of what I'm talking about, but hopefully that gives you an idea of, the black ring I was talking about that's on those vortexes. I'm not trying to bash Vortex. Like I said, I've been a fan for many, many years, but it just, I'm trying to get this thing to do kind of what those vortexes does. I can't get it to do those half moon eclipse shaped things. Here's the Vortex again. And just to compare it, I mean, you can see how bad that black outer edge is. The glass does not go all the way to the edge. I mean, I'll suck it way in here. I'm moving it out to try and get the camera to focus. I mean, you can see there's a, definitive difference, right?